in the interest of everyone's busy day and busy weeks and busy lives, why don't we go ahead and get started? Judith has prepared a PowerPoint, and she's going to help us help me mostly stay on track with a welcome. Well, first off, thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us for just a short hour to just stay in communication with each other and to learn from our special guest, Chief Wood from San Diego Fire Rescue. But really great to see you, Eldon. Can you hear us now? You want to give me a thumbs up just to let me know if you can hear us? I think he might still be trying to get connected. We will continue to carry on though. So without any further ado, and we'll circle back and do some of the business in a few minutes, but I really wanted to take a moment to welcome Chief Wood to our group. We're just delighted to have you with us and excited to hear everything you want to share. But we did have a full, a very full bio listed on our website. If everyone didn't get a chance to read it, I'm going to just share a little bit more about Chief Wood, so you get to know him before he does his presentation. But he is the Assistant Fire Chief, and he started his career with San Diego Fire Rescue back in 1996 as a firefighter, and he progressed through the ranks. He currently oversees all the aspects of San Diego Fire Rescue's business operations, including emergency command and data center, employee services, logistics, and community risk reduction. Chief Wood was an FBI certified bomb technician and on the San Diego Fire Department's bomb squad for 17 years. This makes me think of like James Bond. Do you clip the red wire or the green, right? Yeah. That's what I think of when I think of the bomb squads. But he's been a member of the FEMA Urban Search and Rescue program for over 24 years. He's a member of San Diego Fire Department's hazmat team for 6 years and a member of several incident management teams. So basically, if you have an emergency or you have a significant incident, he's the guy you want on the team. You want Chief Wood to be there. He's responded to many nationwide disasters, including the New York City after 9/11. He's been with the Hurricanes Katrina and Sandy, the Colorado floods, the Oso, Washington landslide, and additionally, he's responded to many wildland fires around the nation. So his service doesn't just include San Diego and our region, but he is a great professional with incredible talent that gets plugged into many different regions when emergencies happen. Chief Wood has an Associate of Arts degree in Fire Technology and a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration, and has completed the Mission Critical Team Development Program in Executive Leadership at the Wharton School, University of Pennsylvania, a very well-regarded school and a wonderful program. He's currently pursuing his Master of Arts in Organizational Leadership because I don't know where he gets the extra hours in the day. I want to learn because he just is always full of energy and obviously a consummate professional, always advancing and trying to learn and do more. He has a lovely wife by the name of Shelby, who's been an educator for 30 years, and they're proud parents of 2 sons who are currently attending college. In his few moments of time off, he loves to golf. He likes physical fitness and snow skiing. So Chief Wood, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Can you remind me where Shelby is working as an educator?
Sure, yeah, she's Poway Unified. So she's over at Mesa Verde. It's actually in San Diego City, but it's kind of annexed to Poway Unified School District there. About 100 yards from our house, which is awesome.
Oh my gosh. And what grade is she teaching?
She teaches 6th grade, so she's done everything. We actually came from Los Angeles, and she taught she taught special education in West Covina, and then when we moved here after 27 years ago, she came to Poway Unified. So she's now in year 31, and I am proud to say I guess I got to update my bio because I have one kid that got out of college, and what a raise that is.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so, Chief Wood, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we'll learn from all of your experience and words to share today.
No worries. Thanks everybody for having me. And I can say thanks, Susan, for the nice words there. And after 17 years, most importantly, I still have 10 fingers. I'm all good. So on the bomb squad, that's a win right there. So appreciate all of you having me here. Much like Kiwanis, we are very community centric. Public safety is. So just like you have the helping one children in one community at a time, we believe in that too. And that's one of the, I'm truly blessed to be in this profession and be here for almost 30 years now. And I would do it 1,000 times over again. So I'm going to go over a little bit of our state of San Diego Fire Rescue, what we exactly do, because a lot of times people don't understand the breadth of what we do. I would like to tell Jay there, go Aztecs, buddy. I'm glad you're going to Maui. I'm in Section U. I have season tickets, and this team is the real deal this year, without a doubt, buddy. So I'm excited to watch them play in Maui, and I hope they pull that one off. Another quick thing. Yeah, buddy. Another quick thing is the situation report. So we do have strong Santa Ana winds coming tonight through Wednesday evening. Just to let you know, and not to get you too worried on that, our fuel moisture level is very high right now because of those rains. So that's a good thing for us. So we keep an eye on that all the time. At times we'll upstaff with our brush rigs and be ready to go at a moment's notice. We learned a lot, as everybody did in 2003 and 2007 in the Cedar and the Witch fires. When that was just devastating to San Diego, and haven't had a giant one like that since then. And that has a lot to do with the steps we took post that. So our mission is to provide the highest level of emergency service, rescue services, hazard prevention, and safety education while ensuring the protection of life, property, and the environment. So that's our mission there. As you can imagine, our org chart is pretty gigantic. We have basically the fire chief, then we have 2 assistant fire chiefs, which is myself and Chief David Gerboth. He does emergency operations. I do the business operations side. I tell him I'm the backbone of the operation, whereas he's the cool stuff. So we rib each other pretty hard. We also have a fiscal division, and then under there we have 8 different deputy fire chiefs that all work for us, doing various things that are very, very busy. In emergency operations, we have fire operations. We also have the lifeguard service, which people don't know that a lot of times. We have emergency medical services, which is about 87% of our calls. Then we have what's called special operations, which is something that I worked in for many, many years. And it's the true passion of me. I was a deputy fire chief of special operations for a few years. And then I think I hit my head and decided to promote up to assistant fire chief, but I sure do miss special operations for sure. Business operations, where I'm at now, I have community risk reduction. That's also known as fire prevention. Extremely busy unit, and it's really the way to prevent these big fires from happening. Emergency command and data center, ECDC, that's called. It's really dispatch. It's what we dispatch. We dispatch about 600 calls a day, so superbly busy. My busiest unit is employee services. When you work with humans, you're going to have human behavior and stuff you have to deal with. So human resources, promotions, demotions, all kinds of public standards units. We do all kinds of stuff there. And then logistics, and logistics is providing basically the fleet we ride on, the houses we sleep in, and then also in all the supplies that the men and women of San Diego Fire Rescue need on a daily basis. So our adopted budget, this is going to be crazy, but our adopted budget is approximately $324 million per year. It's 17% of the city's budget. So we keep a close eye on that. I'm a big part of that to make sure that, we're spending the taxpayers' money appropriately and giving them the best bang for their buck. So we do keep an eye on that. As far as total personnel, we've gotten from we probably had a total of about 1,000 when I came on 26 years ago. And now we're at 1,381, nearly 1,400 fire personnel on the department. Out of that, it's about 1,200 sworn personnel, about 1,000 in the field.
Send out that reminder, so have fun this afternoon.
We consist of we have 7 different battalions. So how we divide our system up is we have battalions and there's engine districts within there. So there's 49 engine company districts. Operation staffing, it's 264 firefighters in the field 24/7. We run basically 3 shifts, and there's always a firefighter on duty. It's called constant staffing. So if you hear out there about overtime and all that stuff, that's because we have to, at times when we don't have the full staffing or a big event going on, we have to staff those engines, and that's the safest thing for the public for sure. As far as facilities, we have 52 fire stations. We have 1 air operations facility with a newer, and the last I was lucky to be able to help bring that into service when I was the deputy chief of special operations of Black Hawk, that we call a Firehawk. So we basically take a Black Hawk, and I wanted to leave it tactical black. It was so cool looking, but we take it, we put a big old tank on it. Our old tanks, we did about 280 gallons of drop water capacity. This one's at 1,000. So it's a big game changer. What we do with the Black Hawk when we get it, we actually lift it like you would do a 4x4. We put a big old tank underneath it and make it like it's like like a monster truck of a copter. So a real big copter. It's a really good thing, and it's a game changer for us. As far as incidents, fires, in the days of old, we had a ton of them. We're now down to about 3.6% of our calls are fires. Really, the big one is EMS and medical, and it's 87.3%. We have a paramedic on every single engine, truck, every unit in the city, and usually now multiple medics. When I came on, we didn't even have a medic program, and then we changed that rapidly within the first few years of me being on. That's a huge thing for all of you out there to get there in timely need for a real emergency, for heart attacks, strokes, any of those type of things. We can get there and give advanced life care right away. So that's it. And then so all other stuff we're an all hazard department, so there's all kinds of stuff that I'll be talking about here in just a second. Lifeguard division, we have 17 miles of Pacific coastline. We have 27 miles of Mission Bay coastlines. So as you can imagine, as a tourist destination, the summer months is really our busy time. This is when they're getting a little more rest than normal. We don't have all our seasonal lifeguards working, which we normally have 225 seasonal lifeguards that we bring in, I think around April, May, and then usually let them go right after Labor Day. And then they can come back the next year. Some of them work there for years and years. Some of them are young kids that are learning the craft and one day will be full-time lifeguards. We also have 127 full-time lifeguards on 24 all the time in San Diego. As far as their response statistics, let's see, let me tell you the crowd count, 17,435,150. So that's a huge crowd count. And they do a really good job. With that, they have 6,000, almost 7,000 rescues, about 2,200 medical aids. And then the big thing is the preventative acts, about 380,000 of those a year. So that's telling people, hey, don't go in there. There's riptides, people from out of town all the time going into places they shouldn't be. Fortunate, I'm a 6th generation California, so I'm very comfortable in the water, but there's a lot of our tourists that don't understand that, how powerful that ocean can be. Our special operations division under emergency operations, that's kind of where I spent a lot of time in my career. On the USAR team, I went to the World Trade Center, was my first deployment, and I went to numerous after that, nationwide to help out people. So a lot of good specialty stuff we do there. This year, I think we had 3 different deployments. Each year we have about 3 or 4 deployments we send out, usually hurricanes, sometimes tornadoes, flooding, that type of thing. Technical rescue team, that's kind of like our rescue unit. So if you've seen like Rescue 911 or any of those, that's what that unit is. It's like a giant toolbox of ropes and knots and different safety stuff. And I did notice somebody, I think Judith, you're a horse, you have a horse or something about a horse. Well, we do horse rescue.
Yeah, we actually we granted a therapeutic riding facility the money to purchase a pony, and a group of us went out to meet her over the weekend.
Outstanding. We we do horse rescue actually, and so we got called years ago on a horse that was in a canyon, and our copter lifted it out, and unfortunately, fortunately, I guess for the department, we didn't strap the horse in, the nonprofit did, and the horse fell. And so from there, we're like, oh my goodness. So now we've gone to where we've bought this giant rubber horse, and we're doing training on it. And since then, we've had a couple rescues that were obviously successful. We brought the horse on out and bring that. It's a whole huge thing where they tranquilize the horse. They don't want it freaking out once, it's up in the air under the copter or when it goes back down. So we're doing that now. So pretty interesting stuff we do that people don't realize. We have the hazmat team as a county-wide team, and that's for efficiency. So a lot of cities will have multiple hazmat teams. This one just one county-wide, and we go out there with the Department of Environmental Health and make for a much more efficient system, cost-effective. The bomb squad. Interesting enough, if any of you watch Dateline, you can get on online and watch it and go to Deadly Intent, and you'll see a whole case about our bomb squad back in the day. It was back in, I think, 2010. So that's a dateline called Deadly Intent. It was about a local, somebody who tried to blow, or who actually did blow up his wife, but didn't kill her here in San Diego. Pretty interesting story on that one. And the other stuff we do, the air operations, we have drones. Those are used within our bomb squad. We have a Metro Arson Strike Team, emergency management. We have a terrorism liaison office, and all kinds of stuff. So, and CERT, some of you might even be part of our CERT team, which is when the community emergency response team, that's when we have a big incident, really need, all hands on deck to help us out, and the community steps up on that. Going into business operations, with our fire prevention division, or community risk reduction, CRR, we do over 5,000 inspections per year. Probably just saw a third alarm fire here in the last few days, or the end of last week, on basically it was a elderly home that in the back of it had a scabbed in area where they had the bikes, and the lithium batteries ended up catching on fire, and it was a big fire. So we try and stop those before we see them, but sometimes they go up so fast, or they're so hidden we can't see them, or they're inside the building. But we do a ton of inspections on there. And of course, it takes us a little bit. We don't hit every single building in 1 year. It takes us a few years to hit all the buildings within San Diego. Our dispatch center, over 200,000 911 calls processed in 2021. Our employee services division, my biggest one, we do recruitment. And what I notice also about Kiwanis is like the community. And we really want to be, with San Diego Fire, reflective of our community. And we have a very diverse community. So we have a few marquee programs that we do through our recruitment. And it's called the Fire Cadet Program, where we have young individuals 16 to 21 that work as cadets. They actually go to a lot of the Burn Institute and do a lot of volunteering there. And they really come out, as we hire a lot of them, and they really come out really knowing the fire service and are much better firefighters starting right off, especially for San Diego, because they know the program so well. We have approximately 200 cadets in that program. We have what's called Girls Empowerment Camp. Over 550 participants, and I liken this to like a farm system within a baseball. So these are the young ladies, very young ladies, or campers, could be girls or boys, it's mostly girls, and they come up and they get empowered to see that they can do this job. And we believe this will really help us in recruitment efforts for females in years to come, but because these are young ladies mostly. Women's Fire Prep Academy, WFPA, is our third and last one. And then what that is that's for women that are slated to go into fire academies, either here or at another department. In 2 years, we've had 38 participants, and 19 of those participants have been hired by SDFD. So that's kind of a newer program that started up in LA County, and we're doing that. And we're proud to say we're trying to get more reflective of the community we serve. What's our future? So our future, and this is some of the stuff you might hear in the meetings, at council meetings, and everything else. Well, right now, I don't know if you know, our Naval Training Center down by Liberty Station is our fire training facility. Well, in 2027, in fact, August of 2027, that's going to go bye-bye, and that's going to the Pure Water program, and they're going to be building a plant there. And so we have nowhere to run our academies and everything else, and we actually do, but it's up in Copley. So we're going to be building that, but that's a whole lot of infrastructure. And in 2027, although that seems far away, it's very, very close for doing big projects like that. It's about a $180 million project, so we'll be going into that. Recruitment, diversity, retention, we're always working on that. Emergency medical services system, we just got a new contractor, Falk Ambulance, and we're going through some growing pains with that and trying to figure out where we're going to go from here on the contract and the promises they made, to make sure that we're giving the best service to you people out there. And then air operations, we're trying to buy another Black Hawk. We have a 42-year-old, our copter one, we have 3 copters, is 42 years old, and it's really time to replace that one. So we're looking at getting some funding for that, and that hopefully will happen in the next 3 to 5 years. And that's all I got. I guess that's a lot of stuff. And what questions do you have? Fire away.
I have a question. I have heard previous chiefs and deputies talk about San Diego County's balkanized fire department system. Has that moved toward a less less divisive system? Is there more interoperability between all the various agencies?
For sure. So yeah, so our county fire system, normally you'd have like say LA County, Orange County, you're gonna have the city or a bunch of or smaller city departments, and you'll have one big county department. This one Cal Fire actually runs, and in years past it was really tough. It was understaffed, not the way to run it. 2003 and 2007, you noticed that in a big way. Those fires didn't start burning in the city; they burned elsewhere and came in here. And sometimes those big winds and big fires, when they get into the city, there's nothing we can do when there's 100-foot flames coming at you, and you just have to clean up after it. So yes, it's gotten much, much better. Cal Fire's invested a lot more attention into the county fire department. The board of supervisors, it still has a ways to go. It has, it has a ways to go for sure. But it is much better, and we are working really well with Tony Meacham, the Cal Fire's fire chief. We work really well with him, and we do we make sure that our people are trained, and when we're going into what we call mutual threat zones, what's the biggest one in the last 2 years. And that's basically to make sure we're on the same comms. If any of you that were in the military or done any public safety, the first thing is comms. Communications is very tough. It's tough enough when you're all on the same radios and same channels, but it's impossible when you're not. And we weren't before, and now we are. Now we get dispatched on whatever we're supposed to be in that mutual threat zone, and we all go to that type of radio. The state has a different type of radio than we use. So they're using VHF where we're using 800 megahertz. And so it's gotten huge, much, much better. The air operations is the biggest thing. And that's the thing that's really like keeping these fires small so we can go and clean them up on the ground. So as long as we keep all those assets down here, Cal Fire does a wonderful job with those. That's a giant service they provide, is actually their operations section. We have our own 3 copters, and we definitely need our own. But it's good to have them backing us up when the fires are getting bigger. Our copters are on another incident. So much better than before.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Chief Wood, how long does a typical fire engine last? Like, what's the life expectancy for the different vehicles?
So generally speaking, we're looking at about a 7-year thing. Now this gets always, so it's much better now. When I came on, we had all different manufacturers, a bunch of different engines. I can remember as an engineer going into an engine I never worked on. It's a big department. All of a sudden I'm working overtime up north or something. I typically worked in Southeast or down south or downtown. And all of a sudden I'd be like, I just go to the engineer when I'm relieving and say, hey, how do I turn it on? If I can get it turned on, I can figure everything else out. But it's literally, it was so bad. And now all of our stuff is made by Pierce. It's all uniformed, all the same, but they last about 7 years, but that'll be adjusted a lot of times in budget times. So sometimes we'll make them a little longer than that. And it depends on how much, also it depends on how much not only the time, but how much they're getting run. So let's go down to City Heights, and those engines are running a lot, are really going on a lot of calls. So their mileage will get up there. But generally speaking, I always say 5 to 7 years, usually about 7. And after that, they do go to our reserve. So we don't just get rid of them. So a lot of times we'll be having them come in and getting a reserve. And it's as you can imagine, they're about $1 million a rig. So super expensive, and we really want to watch all that stuff. Hi, Lauren.
Hi. So my question is kind of the longevity of it, because I swear, how do you decide the numbers that go on on these? Because I swear I have a kid, when he was in kindergarten, he took a picture at the school fair hanging on one of the rigs, and it was 56, and he's graduated from college, and 56 still seems to be rolling around here. So how does that work? Tell me, because now if I'm hearing 7 to 10 years, what's up with 56?
Yeah, well, what we end up doing is we end up, so the numbering system is whatever engine district it's in. So like 1, you'll see engine 1 is in here downtown, and that's at our fire station 1. So whatever fire station they're at, fire station 2 will be engine 2, fire station 3, engine 3. The weird thing is when you get to a very busy area like downtown, you have engine 201. So you don't have an engine 1. It used to be engine 49. And then because they thought, oh, that's so big, we'll never get to 49 stations. Well, we're at 52 now. So we had it like years ago, this is probably 10 years ago, we said, we better name that something else. So we're going to engine 201. I don't think in my lifetime, we're going to get up to 201 engines. So I think we're safe there. So those are usually that. A lot of times you'll see stuff that are rolling around, and those placards are interdispersible. So we'll put them in, they'll be, one day you'll be in this rig, and then you'll be on a reserve rig, and you'll move that number over to that. So does that answer your question?
Yes, otherwise we should get those to go to the moon because they last forever. Okay. thank
Yes.
you.
I wish they could. I wish they would. We're trying to get another interesting thing is we actually we have on order our first electric engine, believe it or not. So the city is really like got this aggressive climate action plan by 2035 to have zero emissions within all the city of San Diego. Of us workers, the 13,000 workers.
How does that
and
even work?
facilities.
I mean, sorry, I totally
Yeah.
interrupted you, but I'm
No worries.
fascinated by that. Good
So
Lord.
Pierce makes one, and it's called the Voltaire, and they actually have made 3 of them, and they're in Madison, Wisconsin. And then we're the first one in California, the first Pierce that will have one. It does have a backup diesel engine that we can use if we are running out of battery. Has a quick charging system, but with that said, that rig is basically it's double the price of what a normal rig is right now. The plus all the infrastructure in the station. So that's going into station 52 at UCSD, which is being built right now. And it's funny, I say 52 stations. We don't call it airport. We don't number that. So we already have 52 stations. 52 will actually be our 53rd station. So it'll be going at the UCSD area, and then we have to put all the infrastructure into there. Infrastructure too, somewhere around $1 million for the station to put in there. That's for a new station. For an existing station, it's even more. So it's an aggressive plan. They're going in the right direction, but it's going to be the cost is going to be gigantic. So we're hoping things come down as we're going on. We're hoping, that the Voltaire and the Pierce electric engine is a good one that we bought. There have been other departments that bought other ones that haven't worked out so well so far. So but we got a little bit of time, and they got 3 of them running every day in Madison right now. So we'll know soon enough.
Do each of the stations have their own diesel gas tank? Like they can refill right on site? So that's also when you build a station, you have to think in terms of all of that stuff too.
Yep. So not every station has their own to refill the engines, but in a district it does. So like station 1 has it. So station 3 won't have it, which is in battalion 1, but station 3 will drive over to station 1 and refill their rig right there. So they have that. And then also there's backup generators. So even though fire and PD are a little different, we have to be able to work no matter what. We have to have redundancy. So the diesel generators will be staying these generators are gigantic. They're like as big as one of your rooms, like at station 1. And so it does all the COB, so the city operations building. So that'll give us power and be able to run if something happens. Those are going to stay no matter what, even past 2035, because we have to have the redundancy on that. But everything else, we're trying to make sure that it's as much zero emission as possible.
How much, you said the last 5 to 7 years, but what's that in terms of mileage? What kind of mileage do you get out of those fire trucks? And I'm also curious. Yeah, that's the question I have.
Yeah, I don't know on mileage. That's a great question, because I remember, it's so funny because I drove them for years, and we never even really looked at the mileage on the things. We just looked at them as well, because the mileage is usually pretty low compared to what we would drive. So, you're talking, I bet you there's not 30,000 miles on one of those things, but they're a big, and they're basically akin to a race car. So when we get them in there, and when I was driving them, by the way, I was a much more dangerous and worse driver than I am now, because my wife would go like, my gosh, would you slow down? You're not going to a call, because you're so used to light sirens on, you're a race car driver, you're going for it. And was a lot of fun, but it definitely is rough on that equipment, because those things are always getting repaired. So if you can imagine 2 in the morning, all of a sudden start it up and boom, there's no warm up time. You're just going to turn that thing enough for the glow plug to go, start it up and start rolling as fast as you can to get to maybe a structure fire or a bad medical. So, but I would say, I don't know what fleet uses, but I would say probably around 30,000, 40,000, I would guess. Now those will go into, like I said, a reserve fleet for years and years. So right now, today I have I'd say about 18 rigs on reserve, whether they're called strip reserves or ready reserve. Ready reserve means it has all the equipment on it, like the hose and all the tools that we need. And strip means it's just the engine itself, and we have to put that equipment on it. But I have those in play for like tonight and tomorrow in case we get a big fire and we need to put those all into service. And then what we'll do is we'll just do a big callback to the whole job saying you need to get to our logistics center and start getting rigs, and we'll start shooting people out to go help out the troops out there, or to backstaff the districts that everybody's out fighting a big fire on. So we keep those for years and years.
What kind of mileage do those trucks get? And have you guys calculated the savings of an electric vehicle and electrifying the stations? And it's got to cost more to go in, but same with the house, but there's savings that must come accrue too.
Yeah, that's huge. I think it's about 8 miles to the gallon. Those things are hogs for sure. And that's depending on the rig, right? So you're talking about just, it's unbelievable. And that cost, I can't even imagine the fuel costs that we have each in the city with that. So those electric engines will definitely save money there. In the long term, it's going to save money. It's just right now, just to get it all, and it's so new, it's so expensive. And the cool thing about the rigs is it looks exactly the same. Like it's no, and we are so traditionalist on the fire service, it's ridiculous. Sometimes it's like, oh, those impede progress by our traditions, but the fire engines look exactly the same. They just have their 18 inches longer. You wouldn't even notice it for the battery pack. And they have that little area. It's like where our hose bed kind of is where all the big battery pack is. So pretty interesting. And it is going to be a cost savings. I know that when they're doing the climate action plan, they're looking at that and looking at big, and this is going to have to be, with the cost of it, without a doubt, it's going to be federal funding, state funding to help us out locally, because there's no way we could pay for all that.
And are you going to have solar on the roofs of most of the stations too, to drive all of that, and have
Yep.
Tesla batteries in the walls and all that stuff?
Yeah, probably. On the battery walls, not sure on that yet, but I know the solar panels we already have. Station 2 down in on Pacific and Cedar here downtown near Little Italy already has solar panels on top, and we're making all of them now from here on out. Every station we make from here on out will have an electric fire engine, electric fire truck, and solar panels. So
Switching gears a little bit, what's the status? I know homeless used to take up a lot of your emergency calls. Have they gained ground on that, or is it still 911 the hospital?
it is 911 the hospital, but the good thing we got is and the best thing is we actually got it funded, is that we got community paramedicine now. So community health and alternate location. So when I came from, I grew up in Los Angeles. I went to school at Cal State Fullerton where I got my bachelor's degree. And then I came down here. Well, I watched 3 different systems. LA, we definitely would go and say, hey, you know what? I work for Arcadia Firefighter. You know what? You can drive yourself to the hospital. You're all right. Or, hey, you can take this basic life support, go with the ambulance. You're good. Orange County, very similar to that. Down here, to good and bad, very touchy-feely. When I came on, it was like we're giving rides to people to the hospital. Then I'm going, this is fully inappropriate, according to my view. It's like, no, they can go get a doctor's appointment and go in 2 weeks. They don't need to be going to the emergency room for that. And we really noticed that recently. That's one of the good things that came out of COVID, is that we were jamming up, you can't jam up the hospitals. They're already jammed up. So, really what we needed a better program to do alternate locations, and to where they can go to a care center or get the needs that something that they need, whether it's mental, whether it's social. And so we're hiring community health paramedicine, and it's with our RAP, our resource access program. And it's actually going to be tied into dispatch, where we're actually dispatching that with a triage nurse too. So it's going to where it's needed to gone for years. And so that's going to be helpful. Right now, though, still rocking and rolling with, I'm well in tune with homeless downtown and the unsheltered, and bringing them to the, giving them care and all that stuff. And we do that. I can tell you that I wish there could be some legislation where other cities or states would not send us their homeless population on bus tickets here. That's just the most wrong thing you could do to another city. And I wish they would do something about that. If you want legislators to do something about that, because I'd be sitting there for years and I'd walk over and go, hey, I don't know you. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Nebraska. Took an Amtrak here. A police officer gave me a one-way Amtrak to San Diego. And that's why we have, one of the reasons why we have problems down here with so many unsheltered and homeless.
Thank you.
one of the things I learned in my role at the Burn Institute when I got to visit some of the fire stations is that firefighters don't get free breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I don't know if is that a common thing that everyone knows, that the firefighters have to pay for their own meals, and imagine dividing it up among a big crew with everyone's different likes and dislikes. Does everyone else on the call, did you all know that?
You mean like at the firehouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I don't want salad. I don't like it. I don't want to pay for salad. It would be like that.
No, we
Fascinating.
I can explain it to everybody. We actually pay for all our own meals. So when you come on, we basically have a big, usually it's a big coffee can, empty coffee can that everyone throws their money in, then you decide what you're going to cook. And I can tell you, coming out of the fire academy, some of the biggest fear for people were cooking, because it's really funny when you first get there and they're like, okay, it's all you, you're going to cook for, whatever. So at station 1, you'd be cooking for 20 people. And so if you didn't know how to cook, it's hilarious watching the young people. I luckily had worked in restaurants, so I basically was writing down 4 meals for everybody. Here's how you do an easy spaghetti. Here's how you do tacos, all this stuff, and go from there. But we pay for those meals ourselves. Not only that, so when you take a fire station tour and you look at, wow, they have lazy boys and they have these big TVs and all that, we pay for all that ourselves. The city does not pay for that. So I try and get that out there. And then the other thing we get asked a ton of is, hey, why are you here shopping? Or why are you here? So we have engine districts. And so as long as they're in their district, they can stay in their district and they can go anywhere they want. We want them to be familiar with the community. We want them to know the little nooks and crannies and areas of concern for getting a fire engine out, all that stuff. So they can be anywhere in their district, and they have radios, and we used to have pagers, but they have radios and they have cell phones. And they get dispatched sometimes it's better because they're already out of the station and ready to rock and roll. And the key is, as long as they're a minute away from their engine, they're good to go anywhere within their district. So we get that asked a lot too.
Well, Chief Wood, thank you so much for this information. I could go on and ask you a bazillion questions. But in closing, is there anything that the Kiwanis could do, like as individuals or as a club? Like, how could we support the local fire department? Should we run over some, pizza for the crew someday? Like, what would be a welcome support for our hardworking firefighters, men and women?
Well, I can tell you that out there, they're working their tails off. Our call volume's been busier than ever during COVID. We didn't get any breaks. We didn't work virtual. We were rocking and rolling the whole time, and even including us nerds that work in executive staff now. We were up at the office and running vaccination centers and going on calls and everything else. But anything you want to do to go by your local fire station and say hi, bring them some cookies or something, they always appreciate that, and they love you guys. And clubs like this definitely have your mission mirrors our mission. It's why we all do all this, is that to better the communities that we live in. So anything you want to do with that, that's awesome. We're doing we have a big fire foundation that we do unmet needs, and we're always looking for stuff for that. But those are usually bigger ticket items that I go harass, like some people that, like developers and stuff like that want to really do stuff like that. But anything you guys want to stop by and say hi, just stop by and say hi and ask questions and visit. Trust me, us firefighters, I got to be honest, we got pretty big egos, and we love talking about our craft and love our job. So when you come by and you're interested in that, the guys love it, and guys and gals. So we appreciate all of you and what you are all doing out there. And if you guys ever need anything from us as far as training, CPR stuff, any of that stuff, or anybody to come talk, I can even put specialists in there about a big incident or anything like that. I can always get in touch with Susan or anybody on this group and come talk to you.
Well, thank you very, very much. And a shameless plug for the Burn Institute, because
yes,
Santa Ana Winds coming in this week. You can go onto the burninstitute.org and look up Living with Wildfire. It's a free publication that we have in English and Spanish to remind all of the homeowners, whether you live out in the backcountry or you live on a canyon, one of those finger canyons in San Diego. There's a lot of things that you can do to help protect yourself and get yourself that defensible space, so that when the firefighters do roll up to your house, they can look to see if you've done your work, and they can try to save your structure. If you kind of let it if you let it go and you got trees growing over your roof and you got your firewood all the way up next to your house, you're probably going to say bye-bye to the house and go find a house you can save, right?
Yeah, we definitely do a triage system there when we got a really big fire. We want to save every house, but sometimes we have to roll by some that we know are going to go and then save maybe even the next one next to it or anything like that. And I should have mentioned that close partnership, because the Burn Institute and San Diego Fire, it's just so nice to have it, someone within our community that support us and we support so much. So we're always doing things for the Burn Institute. We got our little Christmas party coming up at 45s here soon. So anything you can do for the Burn Institute would be fantastic. We love having that neighborhood connection instead of these big national charities and everything else. Having that local really makes a difference for many lives. So appreciate you, Susan, and the Burn Institute.
Thank you, Chief Wood. Super appreciate you taking the time today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.
Yes, no problem. All right, you guys, check out Dateline. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You'll laugh.
Oh.
You'll laugh, and you'll get to see a different. You'll get to see a younger version of me. I still had no hair though.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
All right. I could ask 1,000 questions of him. It's so fascinating. And even the little bit that I've been exposed to with my role at the Burn Institute, it's just fascinating to me. I don't know if anybody else geeks out on this stuff. All right. So it's time for you to show some appreciation to Kiwanis. Maybe you want to share a high or a low, something that you're excited about, or something maybe that you want us to help think about you or your family. We don't have any birthday finds. We do have one birthday coming up later this month, which is Brian Krause. So we'll definitely hit him at a future meeting. But does anyone have anything they'd like to share in terms of and give up some bills bucks?
Carl?
Yeah, I'll throw in 20. Some good things happening with my nonprofit, Open Oceans Global. We made a presentation last week to the Esri Ocean GIS Forum that went really well. We also had that same organization, they're the ones that do our mapping software. They also published a story in their Arc News magazine. We had the center spread, and it theoretically reaches over 1 million readers. So that was really great story about our work. And I'm giving a presentation at the San Diego World Affairs Council on December 6th in Balboa Park about international politics as it relates to ocean plastic policy. So anybody can go attend that if they want to. So all that's good news. We're gaining ground.
Wonderful.
Congrats.
Congratulations. And thank you for the donation, the 20. Hey, Steve, thank you for joining us. I didn't see you pop in, but I want to tell you that one of your fellow Kiwanians said, hey, I saw Steve in the media and I didn't see a Kiwanis pin on. So, I'm just saying, someone's ratting you out.
Well, I've got my pants are being held up by a Kiwanis belt.
Oh, thank you, Carl. Thank you for that fashion statement.
Want to see it?
Nice.
Very nice. Carl, not to throw you in the bus, but Carl, where'd you see Steve in the media?
Where did I see Steve in the media? I'm
I
trying
know,
to remember.
Where didn't you see him?
Busted him, but I can't remember where I saw him. He was, I just can't remember. Sorry.
This sounds like a lot of hearsay, so I'm gonna need some evidence.
I'm gonna pull it out and
Oh, no,
email
it's
it
not
to you.
I think it's the Kiwanis exception and you're required to fork over anyway.
That's right. Give till it hurts. Well, we are trying to raise funds, you know, so that we can stay on budget, and certainly this is a great opportunity for everyone to, you know, get in and throw some money towards the Kiwanis Club so we can continue to do what we're doing. Steve, I will send that to you as soon as I get back to my email. All right.
Susan,
Yes.
I think with Carl's great presentation he's going to make, is there somehow that could be put on LinkedIn as a Kiwanian making an important speech?
I saw it on LinkedIn and I liked it, which I think means it'll appear in our feed, but I can write something congratulating Carl and maybe make it then appear in our feed.
You can repost it. You can repost it.
I will repost it.
Good.
It's on LinkedIn.
Okay.
It's already on LinkedIn and Facebook. If you would like to do that, I would be grateful. Thank you.
I will be happy to do that.
Wonderful suggestion. We're so proud of you, Carl, and so excited. You do so much for that sector, and really, that's quite a kudos. We're excited for you.
Was he the only person making a pledge? That was the only one I heard. Did you hear someone else, Susan?
Lauren's got her hand up.
Yeah, we are excited at SOSL. I wrote a grant to Kaiser Permanente, and they gave us $20,000 last week for youth suicide prevention programs, which aren't really being done. So we're excited about that and the opportunity that it prevents or that it creates for us to deal now with youth survivors of suicide loss. Because unfortunately, if someone in their family dies by suicide, that means the adults would get care and mental health care and the children would not. Children are kind of lost in that whole thing. They're sent back to school. They're just sent back to their lives. They're resilient, and then that's not really the case. So anyway, we're excited by that. And, Kaiser has said that they would really like to fund this for several years. So it's a big date for us.
That's amazing. So how much are you pledging, Lauren?
It's not to $20,000, but it will be 20 because I can certainly match Carl for sure.
All right. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, and congratulations. That's such a worthy cause. And I agree that the children sometimes are shuffled in the transition and they get missed and they're really impacted by such things. So nice work. All right, anyone else? Last call for Bill's Bucks. All right, moving along. Recap of events. We're going to just breeze through these very, very quickly. We had the Comic-Con museum tour, which was fascinating. Awesome photo. Thank you to so many of the members coming out to experience it. It was fun. It was neat to see how they had transformed the Hall of Champions into this new museum. So that was on November 1st. There was a little social, pet-friendly social. Look at everybody with their puppies.
Everybody's dog.
Let's see. Hey, Steve, tell us about it. How was the social?
Sorry.
Yeah, it was great. Excuse me. Little chilly that night, but they had the fires up. They had you can see the little fire tower behind it. And not crowded. That spot gets pretty crowded in the summertime, but we had pretty much the whole rooftop to ourselves. So the dogs could roam and the crew could gather, and it was a lot of fun.
That is awesome. And it looks like, is it Evan right in the center in this image?
Yes.
Our newest member, one of our newest members. So now if you haven't met Evan in person, you know who to look for at our next social or event. All right. And then of course, last Saturday, the opportunity to meet Kiwi, the pony that the Kiwanis Club had helped sponsor to make sure that she was available for children for therapeutic riding lessons. Looks like we have a rascally bunch of characters at this get together. I love it.
And Mike got recruited to help actually with one of the lessons. So
wonderful. There's Kiwi, and I love the saddle pad introducing Kiwanis. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Susan, if you look in the meeting chat, there is a link to the findable moment for Mr. Morris.
Oh, thank you. So there it is, Steve. Run, but you can't hide. San Diego.
The San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce upcoming events at the Toby Wells YMCA.
The hearsay objection is overruled and he must pay.
What is the fine? Is it a $5 fine?
Well, what about like the dissembling? That surely adds another 5 on it when he didn't really know, you know. I think you're supposed to walk around with it on, Steve.
I'm sorry to burst everyone's bubble, but if you click on that link, I'm nowhere to be found. I think wrongful accusations are at least worth an additional $10.
Oh, look at that. You're right. Well,
It was a chamber event, though. You're
it
correct,
was a chamber
Carl.
event, and I could share my screen if you really want me to do it, Steve.
So resistant.
Do you want me to stop sharing?
No,
I think we'll move along.
All right, moving
I
along.
think you can move along. Yeah.
Moving along.
Okay.
That's right. Okay, upcoming events. So I hope, who else is going to join me? Because I'm going to be serving dinner on Thursday at the Ronald McDonald House. Mike's going to be there. Whoop, whoop. It's going to be fun. Thank you, Glenn and Doug. Awesome. We're going to be there. We're going to be doing some art projects and then also serving food for the special families that are at the Ronald McDonald House. So I'll see you all on Thursday. I think there might still be some spaces available. If anybody wants to register, go either to our website or contact Judith. She can get you in, but we're going to start at 4 o'clock on Thursday. Next up is, of course, the tour at Ocean Discovery Institute. Thank you, Carl, for getting this coordinated. That's on December 1st, an 8 a.m. start, but it's going to be a nice tour to see this amazing facility and learn. I encourage you all to jump on. That's also a Thursday, December 1st. Then, of course, we have our once a month breakfast meeting. This is our breakfast downtown at Park and Market on Tuesday, December 6th. We'll be hearing from the Port of San Diego. So I think that's fascinating. I mean, we forget many times that San Diego has this amazing resource in the port and a lot of activities and industries that are coming and going. So I'm going to be fascinated to hear what we learn about that day. Again, 7:30 start. Register by reaching out to Judith or going online. It's just a small fee. You get breakfast and a fascinating speaker. And then on the very next day, on the 7th, on Wednesday, the service project for Stand Up for Kids. It's alongside with the Bonita Kiwanis. They're a very active group down there. And Mike, I don't know, are you heading this or is Mike, are you heading this up?
No, I think this is perhaps it's with the Bonita Kiwanis.
It's with the Bonita. They're the ones that really head it up. We're going to join them.
So we're going to join in with them.
Okay, great. So it's going to be food distribution. They're very organized. They do this all the time for Stand Up for Kids. So if you want to participate and give back to the community, go out on December 7th, 4 to 6. And again, signing up on the website helps everybody know who's coming and how many people to plan for.
Where is it?
It's down in Bonita.
It's not it's not that far. It's at 2 different locations. They start at one place with this group called Youth Assistance Alliance, and then they go to a second place, and all of the addresses are in the event if you go to the website, or I can email anybody that doesn't want to check on the website. But it's like a multi-location.
Very good. And then we're going to round out the year. We're going to have a little Cutwater Spirits on December 15th. We're going to have the Kiwanis Club holiday party. So that's at 5 p.m. December 15th, again, a Thursday at Cutwater Spirits, which is kind of like the Miramar, Mira Mesa area. I hope
it's apparently right next door to the food bank.
Okay. And so come on out and let's raise a glass and cheer each other on and celebrate that we've gotten through this year. Another amazing year, but I hope that you'll all join us out for that evening event.
And again, where is that located?
Yeah, the Cutwater Spirits is up in right off of Miramar. And perhaps Sean, Judith could give you a call and walk you through the different locations of the events that we have. They are posted on our website, but she'd be happy to give you a call and
Okay,
give you all the
okay.
details.
Absolutely happy to, yes.
All right, thank you for doing that, Judith. And we're already looking into 2023, Laurels for Leaders. If you don't have it on your calendar, you should. February 15th, we're going to be at San Diego State and having an amazing day with youth from our community. So please mark your calendar, please register, please attend. There's links on our website and elsewhere. So
And registration deadline is December 16th.
oh, so don't snooze.
Don't snooze.
All right, I think I've gone a little bit over in time, so thank you all for your patience and participation for our get-together today. Any last comments or questions or suggestions for the good of the group?
Student Pruitt's services are Wednesday at 1:30 or something like that.
Yeah,
No, noon.
noon. It's tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Carl.
Thank you for reminding us.
And
Yeah.
have Laurel you said there's a deadline for Laurel for Leaders. I don't recall seeing the invitation yet.
There's not been an invitation other than our website is up live. What do you mean by an
Well, if you've got a
invitation?
December deadline, you're presuming that everybody reads the website daily to figure it out when it should be. There should be an email that does all that stuff.
Yeah, an email will be going out when I meet weekly with Emily, the president of Laurels, and tomorrow I was going to talk to her about how she wanted to publicize that to the club.
Yes. Thank you, because I know we're trying to get ahead on so many busy calendars. We want to get you to get those dates, bulletproofed on your calendar if at all possible. So Judith will send out emails with all of the upcoming events. So if you could take the time to look at those and jump on those links, that might help keep everybody on the same page. Wonderful. All right. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and thank you for joining us.
Care, enjoy.